In this video I'd like to show you something more about perspectives, and if you are following the series in which I color this beautiful door from Joanna Besford's Enchanted Forest, then you will already have heard me telling about this beautiful door, but the perspective is not right. And in this video I'm going to show you how the door would look if the perspective was right. Now I'm going to make a sketch, and I'm using this roll of sketching paper. I've had this for many years. It was in my attic, but last week I found it again. And I'm first going to do some tracing. No, I'm first going to do some checking. Now normally what you need to do with perspective is the gain of the horizon and the point where all horizontal lines go to. Now you can do that with 1 point on the horizon or 2 points on the horizon, and in this case, because we are looking at this door exactly from the middle, I'm going to do 1 point. So all these lines that are, we know in reality, if this door was real, then these lines would be all horizontal. And if the perspective was right, then all these lines would end up somewhere on the horizon in the same place. Now let's check it. So if I would do this, the horizon is somewhere over here. So when it comes to these two lines, the horizon would be here. Now there are more horizontal lines over here, and now I have to say I added some horizontal lines, so I'm now going to take a look. These are all mine, but this one was drawn by Joanna, and I'm going to check this one. Now you can see immediately, if I would draw these lines, then the horizon would be over here. So Joanna drew this door with at least two different horizons, and that makes this drawing look a little bit like something is wrong. And I'm going to use one horizon with 1 point where all horizontal lines in the door and the wall will go to. Now I have to choose which horizon will I choose. And well, I could make two drawings, then you can see the difference maybe, but I think I will go for the lower one, the horizon over here. So I took another piece of tracing paper, And I decided to go with the horizon that is somewhere over here. So I will do some tracing first, so I know where things are. Now these, the difference is mainly in the sides of this wall. So these, that will be a huge difference. But I will first, so. It's just some rough sketching. In a later stadium I will make it look better, and the door itself will remain where it is. So. I will not draw this lion. I can add it when the perspective is done. No, that is not good, because this is going to change, I think. So. Now I'm going to add the horizon, and I decided now that this line and the line over here will determine where the horizon is. And if you want to try this, you can put the horizon anywhere you like. You can make a low horizon, you can make it here, and every time you change the horizon, you will get a different result. So this is the point that is important. Now all the horizontal lines will lead toward that point. So for example, this point here will lead there, and this one will lead there too, and this one too, and this one too. Now the more precise you do this, the more accurate your drawing will become. There was a time that artists hadn't discovered this perspective thing, and when they did, their paintings and drawings became so much more real. It's just such an improvement. And what you need to keep in mind is when you draw or paint 3D buildings, objects, then the vertical lines are vertical in your drawing, but the horizontal lines are only exactly horizontal when they match the horizon. And if they are higher in the drawing or lower in the drawing than the horizon, this is the horizon. Can you read that? It's a bit faint. If they are higher or lower, then they will not be horizontal. So, what I'm going to do now is to match this vertical line with the horizontal lines. So I will still use the vertical lines of Joanna Besford, but I will use my newfound horizontal lines, which are not horizontal because of the perspective. That's it. So now I think you can see that there is something different is happening. Now all these lines also are in real time, they are horizontal, so they should all go toward the same point. So I made some more lines, and now I'm going to put some ink in it to make things a little bit more clear. And then I can erase the lines I just made. Now this arch seems a bit complicated, so I will first do the bottom. I have this Staedtler 0.3 pigment liner. It's the same ink pen that Joanna uses. They are absolutely fabulous. I've been using them for, well, 10 years, I guess. But I use them for drawing architectural drawings. So now I'm following the lines that I put in. Write this down. Horizon. Just a reminder. I need to make sure that tracing paper doesn't move too much, because then then my perspective will change immediately. So. Constructing perspective can be complicated. I really need to focus and concentrate, otherwise I make mistakes. I was telling you that the horizontal lines in a perspective always go toward that point on the horizon. That is true, except for these horizontal lines. It only the horizontal lines that go away from you, that move from you, they will find that point in the horizon. But this, you know, the distance from this, your distance, how do I say that? There is no difference in distance, this point from you and this point. But this point is farther away from you than this one, and therefore it moves to that point on the horizon. And if you find this difficult to understand, then the best thing you can do is to look at pictures with buildings on it and put some tracing paper on it, and then you will see that all the horizontal lines that move away from you will all meet each other in that point on the horizon. Now sometimes that point on the horizon is not in your drawing, but it is outside your drawing. But just try it. Take a picture and follow the lines. The lines of rooftops, for example. So I added a little bit more, all these lines, I put them in, and let's see what the difference is. Now I already changed something while coloring, because these lines were not here in the original drawing, and there were many lines here were not here as well. But now if we take a look at this, let's see if I can put it next to each other. Now there is so much detail in this drawing that you may not see the difference yet, and I made this one more 3D by adding this shadowed area here, but I hope you can see that this has more a feel of a more 3D feel than this one. And now I'm going to construct the top of this of the door. So I got rid of all the graphite lines except for the horizon, and that point over here, that one is very important. And now I'm going to make the arch 3D, and I'm making it in such a way that it fits this point. And then you will see something extraordinary happening, because you will see that if we take this point, if we use this point, then it will turn out that the door that Joanna drew is too large, it is too high, it should be a little bit shorter. So I'm going to show that. If we would have chosen an horizon that is higher, then the door would be perfect. But in this case, because I chose this horizon from these two lines, then the door is too high. Now constructing arches, because it is a rounded shape, can be very confusing. So I will first use just straight lines to construct. And you know, an arch always fits straight lines, squares. So I will first make straight lines, and I am using this line. It's the left front line of this arch, and I will do that on this side as well. I'm having a hard time finding the right words. I should have prepared myself better and make a list of English words that have something to do with this subject, but now the top of the arch is over here, and I will turn that into a horizontal line. Something like this. Now the fun begins, because if that arch would be just horizontal and vertical lines, then we can construct exactly how the perspective goes. And so I'm using this line, And then if I place this point, if I draw a line to the point on the horizon, I have to do that right, so to the middle. And this is a very important point. This is the point where this horizontal line of the side of this wall is connecting with the perspective line. I will do that the same on the other side. If you can't follow this, if it is too complicated, don't worry. I am going to make more videos about perspective, just to show you the shouldn't talk and draw at the same time. I'm making a mess, but I'm going to make some more videos about perspective. Look, I made a complete mess here. I will have to erase this. It is because this side is not completely vertical, unfortunately, and that makes it difficult to choose direction. So I want to choose this. That looks much better. And this is the very, very important line. Now, I will connect this point with that one. And then we will know how much of the ceiling of the arch we see. And that turns out that we see more of that than Joanna is actually drawing. Now we can also construct the top of the door. And I will use exactly the same technique, just follow this line. Because this door is right in front of you, this distance between here and there will be the same over here. So if I measure the distance, I can measure it here. It is about 4 millimeters. That is 4 millimeters here as well. And this needs to be horizontal. Now this is the original drawing, and now when I place this on top, I hope you can see this. The original lines of the door are over here, and in my perspective, the top of the door is over here. Isn't that interesting? It is lower. So I will continue drawing, and then we'll see what the end result will be like. Now, in order to draw the arches really accurately, you need to know where this vertical wall, you need to know the exact point where the vertical wall stops and the arch begins. Now in this drawing it's not quite clear, but I think it is somewhere over here that the arching starts. So I will do this just with a little bit of sketching. So this will not be completely accurate maybe, but I will do my best. to make it perfect as possible. So I will make another line, a vertical line, something like this. So now this is the arch we already know, and now the arch of the side of this wall starts here and it ends somewhere over here, I think. So I will now make an arch There are ways to construct this even more accurately, but I think that would be too. So this is something like this. Now for the other side it is exactly the same. So if the arch will start at the same point on the other side, so that will maybe I have to do this to rights. With constructing, make sure that the horizontal lines that are actually really horizontal, that they are horizontal, and the vertical lines, the true vertical lines, should be exactly vertical. Now with all buildings are never straight, so that will make it even more. Let's see. Do this. So, and now we will make the arch from the door. And that one is easier because the distance is everywhere 4 millimeters, everywhere. I will do this sketch like now, but you could do this very precisely if you wish. And you can on several points do the distance of 4 millimeters. It is something like this. So I will do some inking right now. I will ink the door. I hope the light is still good for you to watch what I'm doing, because the sun is changing. I'll do this like a bit sketch-wise, I hope you don't mind. Now if you find it hard to make a straight line with an ink pen, when I was studying architecture, we had to draw, of course, and sketch a lot, and we learned that if you place your pen or pencil on the point where you want to start, and then you move your eyes where you want to go with the pen, it is much easier to make good straight lines. So it's like this. And also drawing the line in the air before you actually draw the actual line. It's like playing air guitar, but then with the playing air pen, playing air pencil, whatever. So I know where I want to go. So now I will not watch the tip of the pen, but I will watch. I will be want to go. And I'm looking at that point where I want to go. So I'm placing my pen and I'm looking at this point. And then my hand will follow my eyes. Do this here as well. So I'm placing my pen and I'm looking where I want to go. So, now I erased some lines that I'm going to need right now, and that are the lines from these points. So I'm going to draw them in again. I could draw them again, they are all need to go to this point, but at this time, to save some time, I just will use this triangle and put it in with ink right away. Now I need to be careful and concentrated because I cannot erase this ink line. If you do not trust your hand, then, or your mind, then first draw everything in graphite pencil. So I erased some lines, and this is the result. Let's make a comparison with the original drawing. Here it is. Well, I think I should add a little bit of color to the sketch on the left, because I think that would help you to see the difference. So I just added some color, and I will add a little bit more color. Of course, this is just a sketch, so I'm just doing it because I hope it will allow you to see the difference a little bit more. So at this point I'm not using my very light touch at all. I'm just putting color on paper. So now let's add the famous Payne's Gray to add a little bit more shadow. It's a little bit like this. I continued coloring a little bit more while you were not watching, and so far this is the result. And now I'm going to try to show you the difference between the Joanna Besford perspective and the one that I just made. Hopefully you can now see the effect of a perspective that every part of the drawing is drawn to the same point here on the horizon, because now I think this, especially here on the top, you much more have this feeling that this door is behind the thick walls. So there is this, how do you say this, a niche, and then the door starts, and over here, especially on the top here, it almost looks like the top of the door is in the same is just as close as to you as these walls, as these stones, and that is definitely not the case on the left side. Here I think you have much more the impression that the stones are closer to you and the door is farther away. So this is the result. Now I am planning on doing another drawing of this same door with a different perspective. Then I will change the horizon and put it, I think, a lot higher, and then the result will be completely different, I think. So, but that will be a new video, because otherwise this video will be too long, I think. So I hope this was understandable, because it can be pretty complicated with all these lines, but there will be another more simplified tutorial as well about perspectives. So, well, this is it. I hope to see you next time in one of my other videos. Bye bye.